Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to the mess hall here at Dr. Jet Laboratories. As you can see, I'm brewing coffee for my discussion with you later on. I'm going to do a show and tell with you. One of the things I'm going to show and tell is the box, the contents of the box that the American Spirit is sitting on. Let's just zoom in on the Spirit just for S and G's. And we can see, oh look, my exhaust pipe's got a heat shield under it. Isn't that cool? And what do you think of the canopy? Huh? It's going to get a rim of metallic gray pinstriping tape around the outside edge to kind of simulate a canopy frame. But that's the way it came out. I thought you guys might like that. Yep. Zooming in and out. So there you are, just a quick look at the Spirit. We're gonna go into the Stink Bug Works and do show and tell. And we're gonna talk about the contents of the box that's under the Spirit. So until then, jet out. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome back to the southern wing of the Stink Bug Works. I have my caffeine fix ready. I have my voice cracking like a teenager. Here is the box. And if you look at the box, it looks like it came from China. And in fact, it did. And the box contains another one of these. This is a cool little race boat. Now, I admit I added the jam foam, and I took out the battery tray, and I put in Velcro, because the battery tray wasn't glued in very well. The hull's kind of cheap, but the rest of the boat is a winner. The hull has a great shape to it. It's just of questionable durability, but it's a badass little boat. The sucker hauls ass. Anyway, this is one of the prizes in the long, hard shaft challenge. Well, come to think of it, this boat has a long, hard shaft. Anyway, boys and girls, I'm going to come back in a bit with the reason my workbench is in a state of disorder. It looks like I am sanding and blueprinting, and that's kind of what I'm doing. So I'm going to jet out for a moment. I'll be right back with the workbench project that's making all the mess. Until then, jet out. Well, boys and girls, here's why the Stink Bug Works is such a mess. I'm working on this project, and I'm not going to clean up my mess until I'm done working on it. And I'm getting real close. I got a comment from a viewer named Ray S. Now, I think that's Ray Schrowen from OSE, but I'm not sure. If it is, this guy's been around. He's seen and done it all. I mean, this guy's been a fixture in fast electric boating. He's one of the OGs. Anyway, he was surprised to see this, and yes, Ray, this is in fact a 30-year-old systems where the plastic hasn't gotten dry and cracked. It's been kept inside of the dark. It hasn't been exposed to sunlight. And because I live at the coast, the humidity is always up there a little bit. So it never really dried out as if I were living in the desert. So the plastic's in surprisingly good shape. Now, I'm going to power it with this 4074 2000 kV motor. Now, a lot of you are looking at this and going, that's a 100-mile-an-hour motor. And yeah, it might be a 100-mile-an-hour motor if I up the cell count and I put on a big prop, and do big B speeds. This boat is not going to do big B speeds. This boat, because it's a vacuum-formed plastic hull, is, how do I say this tactfully, a little bit fragile. If I were to do a 99-mile-an-hour animal flip, this thing would just shatter. There wouldn't be anything left. All the foam blocks up here and back here would come floating to shore, and that's all that would be left. Everything else would be at the bottom. So I am not going to go 100 miles an hour with this boat. I'm not going to go. I might go 50. 50 might be pushing it. Okay, 45. 45, 50-ish. How I'm going to do that? I'm going to run it on 4 cells, first of all, so I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going to run it on 4S, and I'm going to put on a small prop so I can keep the RPMs within reason. So there you go. It'll get my preferred Sea King 120 Pro. I like those for moderate current draw applications. So there you go. And of course it gets, with a 30-year-old boat, it gets 30-year-old hardware. Fuller's cat hardware. So there you go. It's quite frankly getting ready to paint. The blueprint here on the strakes is pretty good. I still feel a little bit of non-sharpness on some of these edges, so I'm going to go by with epoxy and shredded fiberglass and just dab it on the very corners here, on the very edges, because I don't know if you can see this. You want these puppies sharp. So I'm getting there. I may be putting more work in this than is really necessary or appropriate. This is, after all, a vacuum-formed 30-year-old hull, and I don't need if I need to take advantage of all this blueprinting, but it's fun to do. It's an accomplishment, and I'm amazed at how well these little G10 sanding blocks work for getting these lifting strakes just perfectly flat and perfectly square. I mean, it gives you a razor's edge there. Same thing up here. And of course, for the flat stuff, a nice flat Delrin block. Okay, boys and girls, that's just a little update on what we have. You've got the canopy painted on the Spirit. You got the prize for the upcoming challenge, one of the prizes for the upcoming challenge, and a status update on the systems. Now I think I'll go watch Big B's morning video. Until next time, Jet out.